So to add zip to your trouser, you have to measure 7 inches downward on both sides of the trouser, and then you are going to have this sort of like line. Okay, so you are going to have three of it, 10 inches by 2.5 inches. You are going to have three of that. So I'm going to be taking two all together, and I'm going to stitch it the way I'm doing right now. I'm going to stitch it all round. I'm not going to stitch it to the end. I'm just going to stop at that point, and I'm going to turn it inside out so I can top stitch on it. So I'm just going to top stitch on it like that. I'm going to be doing it neatly. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop your comments. So we're just going to keep stitching, and at this end we are just going to fold it in like that, so we have a neat edge. So I'm just going to sew it, and I'm going to fold it in on that part and sew it straight down. So after doing that, the next thing I want to do is take my zip and sew it on this fabric that I just did. I'm going to be sewing my zip on the fabric. So after doing that, I'm going to take the left side of the front panel. I'm going to be stitching. So this is like a female pant trouser. If you're going to make a male pant trouser, just know it will be on the other side. This is like the left side of the female pant trouser. So if you are working with the male pant trouser, this that you are doing will be on the right side instead of the left side. Take note of that. So I'm just going to stitch it. Remember, I marked 7 inches when I started, so I'm going to be stopping the stitch at that 7 inches. So I'm just folding it in like 1/4 of an inch, and I'm stitching at the edge. So I'm stopping at the 7 inches notch I made at the start of this video. So this is what we have. I just went on to stitch it on the zip and the other fabrics under it. So I'm going to take the second part of the front. So this is the second side. Remember, I said you are going to cut 3 of that piece. So this is the third one, and I'm just going to stitch it from the upper part to the 7 inches I already notched. So this is me, that's the 7 inches notch, and I'm just going to sew it and reverse at that point. And I'm also going to notch the fabric I just sewed on top, so I have the 7 inches notch on both sides. So I'm going to top stitch. I'm going to be top stitching. So this is me just top stitching so it lays well. So the next thing I want to do now is just to fold like this other end, so my work is neat. So I'm supposed to like weave the whole pants before sewing at all, but you can either sew then whip it, or you can whip the all sides of the pants, all the sides of the pants, then sew it afterwards. So you can choose which is convenient for you. So I chose in this video to sew first, then whip after. So I'm just going to fold that in. That's how it's going to look like when we are done. So this is the right side of the pants trouser. Remember, it will be on the opposite side if you are working for a male pants trouser. So the next thing I want to do now is I'm going to lay the left side on the right side, and I'm going to make sure that the notch is touching each other. The notch for the left side and the notch for the right side, they are touching each other. And I'm just going to take it to my sewing machine, and I'm just going to sew it about 3 inches or 4 inches length. I'm going to show you what I did. So I just went on to stitch. I reversed it well at that point because I don't want it to lose or something. So I just want it stitched properly together. So I just went on, I just sew it forward a bit, but not to the end of the fabric. So this is me just sewing it just to hold it down. So I'm just going to turn it out back to the right side of the fabric, and I'm going to, this is what I have, guys. So the next thing you are going to do, you're going to open that out because that's the part where there is zip. So this is how it would be. So you just lay it out properly. So the next thing you want to do now is, the zip is only sewn on one side of the trouser, of the front panel is on the left pattern. So we are going to try to stitch the zip on the right pattern as well. We are going to hold it down on the right pattern as well. So I'll just go ahead and check it at the back and show you guys what I mean. So this is the right pattern. Can you see that the zip is not sewn on it at all? So I just want to sew the other side of the zip to the right pattern, so it is stitched on both left and right pattern, because this is like 2 separate pieces. If you have any question, please do not hesitate to drop it in the comment section. So I just, with the help of this pin to hold it down, so my work is neat and perfect. So I'm just holding it down with this pin. So I'm just going to open into the back, and this is my right pattern and this is the zip. So I'm just going to open the other part of the zip. You see that the zip is already sewn to the left pattern, so I just want to sew the zip to my right pattern. That's like the excess fabric I sew to the right pattern. So I'm just going to stitch it up like that on just that excess pattern for the right side. So you open it up, make sure you don't stitch it together with the left piece. Okay, so this is what we have. Can you see it is already stitched to both the left and the right side of this front panel. So the next thing we want to do is, from this right side, you make sure you open it at the back like this, because if you sew it together your zip will not open. So you open it at that back side, then you lay it well, and then you are going to take 1/4 inch of measurements from that opening point. You're going to take 1/4 inch like that, and then you're going to choke it and then cuff it to this down part. You can use 1.5 inches as well, but because it's a female wear and I don't want that line too wide, so that's why I'm using 1/4 of an inch. So you just measure your 1/4 of an inch, and then you are going to stitch down. You can do this with a chalk before you start sewing, so you have a proper line. But because I'm used to this, I do this often, so that's why I decided to do it without my chalk, without chalking it first. So at that point where this opening ends, you are going to just cuff your hand and just the same way it is. So you just cuff it like that. So can you see the line that we have there? Remember to open this back before sewing it at the front. So this is my zip. Can you see it can open and it can close and all like that. So everything is neat and looks okay. So thank you for watching, guys. Do not forget to like, comment and share if you enjoyed watching this video. See you in my